back. Well, on to the big CNBC TV 18 exclusive then. Speaking on the sidelines of the 20th Annual Asian Investment Conference, Helman Sitohang, the CEO Asia Pacific at Credit Suisse, talks about the geopolitical risks and how the markets are coping with the uncertainty post events like Brexit and Trump's election. Listen in.
With all this uncertainty one by one being out, and investors are getting used to the kind of the new, what you call it, the more populist kind of approach in the politics. I think everybody is adjusting to it, and then we'll eventually start focusing more on the value than instead of kind of the politics. But it's it's going to be part of the game, I think, going forward.
Okay. Every year India has got a fair share of presence as far as the Asia conference is concerned. Even this year, I believe there are more than 20 odd corporates which are attending. A lot of the investors are looking at meeting a lot of the Indian companies at the conference this year as well. At Credit Suisse, where India stands out in terms of the ranking, and personally, for you, how has been India in the last 1 year as far as the businesses are concerned?
Well, India for us has been always a very important country. I'm a big believer in the country. It has one of the largest and fastest growth globally, and definitely in Asia. I think we have seen growing faster than China, I think, which hasn't happened in a while, right? And I think the potential is immense. It's the second largest country in the world in terms of population. We are very active there. Last year we were top 2 in the securities, the equity securities franchise, as well as our investment banking, advising clients. And with Credit Suisse positioning as the trusted entrepreneurs bank, and given that 50% of listed corporates in India are first family generation owned, it bodes well towards our strategy, because our strategy is to cover holistically our clients, both from the investment banking, but also from the wealth management, and we're very special in that. So I'm very happy with the progress that we have made in India. We're very committed to the market, and I'm a big believer that there's a lot of big opportunities. You have a lot of global reaching companies that are Indian owned, and I think that's great.
We are in the middle of this Modi government. 2.5 years has been done.
Yeah.
So what have you made of this new government, and what do you expect over the next 2 years from this Modi government?
Well, I do expect the same thing that we expect from pretty much every government. I think we do see that I think consistency in policies is always important.
Sure.
I think having a balanced agenda in terms of balancing growth, but also making it more sustainable growth that not only benefit a small group of, let's say entrepreneurs or politicians or whatever you call it, but it's kind of broad-based. And I do think that India is on the right path. Right? That's why we're exciting, and I think we're very excited, and that's why I think you see the kind of the growth that you see. It's not easy to generate that kind of growth that you have seen in India, given the global constellation.
Okay. One thing which I'm sure a lot of the clients are going to ask you as well, and your India team.
Yep.
The one big bold move which the Modi government took last November, was the demonetization of higher currencies. Your experience on how things pan out if such a big event happens, and was it a right move, and will it not hurt at least the so-called the growth, at least in the near term? What's your sense?
Well, I wouldn't comment on specific policies. I think the most important part is that we see that the activity is back. So every time you have a new policy or some new policy, then there's always some short-term effect. But the most important thing is looking at the long term, and the fact that, like you said, the M&A activity is high. We see a lot of transaction as well. It means that policy is behind us. And I think now we can look into the future, right? And I think there's a great opportunity in the market. We are very excited about the entrepreneurs and the overall market activity.
Okay. Last question before we wrap up. To your mind, what are the key risks for global and emerging market equities in 2017?
I think the geopolitical risk is going to be always there. I think we have seen the new form of populist approach in the politics. I think as long as it's remained in a good check and balance, then I think that's potentially healthy. It's a new paradigm, and it's kind of voicing probably the voice of of the general population. The key is really making sure that it doesn't create larger shocks, which could disturb then the overall trade activity, economic activity, and capital markets activity. And as long as it's like in the right balance, then I do think that it will continue to advance maybe in a different form. And are we in the new beginning era of that kind of theme of our Credit Suisse Asia conference? And I think we should be fine.
All right, then, time to slip into a snappy break. But coming up next, there's some bit of a breather coming in for automakers. The government bats for allowing sale of unsold PS3 stock beyond April 1st.